from the Fox 5 studios, this is the RebZone Sports Show.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in. I saw Jack Harlow this weekend at Resorts World, so I'll be singing his songs all night long. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Well, Thursday night's loss to San Jose State felt like forever ago as the Rebels are still fighting for their first win under Coach Arroyo. But it is Cannon Week, and the tension will be high when UNLV travels up to Reno on Friday night. And we're sitting down with Downhill Phil tonight. The junior safety from Texas is making a huge comeback from tearing his ACL back in 2019. I love this guy's story about perseverance and how his career is just getting started at UNLV. And the Runnin' Rebels look like they're having way too much fun this offseason. Have you guys checked out their Run It Back episodes yet? These guys are hilarious. Coach Kruger has a talented and witty roster this season. We'll be catching up with the Runnin' Rebels as their season is right around the corner. And you guys, I am looking at the month of November like, whew, it's over. It's over. The Runnin' Rebels will be playing 2-3 times a week on top of a UNLV football game on Friday or Saturday. The fun is just getting started. Lots and lots of coffee for me. Well, it was tough to see another devastating loss for UNLV football on Thursday night, falling to San Jose State at Allegiant Stadium. A strong performance from the freshman quarterback Cam Friel, but the Rebels are still looking for a way to finish on top. Let's take a look at the highlights. A wild start to the night at Allegiant Stadium. San Jose State ain't ready for Gutierrez. A short kick and it's a loose ball. Victor Montes recovers the fumble at the 25-yard line. That'll later set up this. Rebels at the 6-yard line. The true freshman quarterback, Cam Friel, hits Steve Jenkins in the back of the end zone. That's Jenkins' third touchdown of the season, but first trip to the sideline slot machine, and the Rebels sideline is juiced up. Rebels on top 7-0. A sloppy first quarter for the Spartans. Fumbles, bad snaps, and drops. San Jose State settles for a field goal, trailing 7-3. Later in the second, shout out to the GOAT, Danny Gutierrez, breaking the school record with 15 made straight field goals, a 53-yarder, and UNLV is on top 10-3. First half defense was lighting it up. Nick Nash scrambling. Tavis Malakias forces the ball out, and Bryce Jackson recovers the fumble. Jackson, of course, off to the slot machine. The turnover would later lead to the Chuck Wagon pushing his way into the end zone. The Rebels rolling, taking a 17-3 lead. Spartans would later kick a field goal, trailing 17-6, and kept fighting. 16 seconds left in the first half. Friel hands it off to Williams, but Cade Hall is all over it, and the Spartans would recover the fumble at the 33-yard line. 2 seconds left on the clock. Tyler Nevins able to sneak a score in before halftime as San Jose State trims their deficit, trailing 17-13 at halftime. Later in the third, Gutierrez would of course nail a 30-yard field goal with his eyes closed. Rebels take a 20-13 lead heading into the fourth, but the Spartans are knocking. Nick Nash drives his guys down to the 10-yard line, and it's Nevins who zips through the Rebels defense as the San Jose State Spartans tie it up at 20. Next drive, Friel would lead his guys down to the 22-yard line, but on 4th and 1, Coach Arroyo decides to bring out the GOAT, and for the first time this season, Gutierrez's kick is blocked. 7:14 left in the fourth quarter. Spartans still knocking. Nick Nash takes it in himself, 15 yards to the end zone, and San Jose State takes their first lead of the game, 27-20. Final drive of the game, the Rebels march down to the 11-yard line. 14 seconds left on the clock. A chance to tie the game. Friel gets rocked by Kyle Harmon as the clock expires at Allegiant Stadium. And that is it. The Rebels fall to San Jose State 27-20, dropping to 0-7 this season.
Yeah, we go into every game thinking we could win. So, I mean, down by 7, that close to the red zone. We feel like we had a great shot. It's frustrating, losing these close games, but at the end of the day, we got to find a way to finish, and then the score is going to reflect that.
Well, welcome Coach Arroyo into the RebZone. Coach, you know me, I don't know what day it is, but Thursday feels like a really long time ago, and I know you guys are probably moved on to UNR, but looking back at this game, what teachable moments did you find throughout the game that you addressed to your guys?
Well, there's a ton of moments in this game, very similar to the 5 others that have been in the fourth quarter for us. When it comes to turning the ball over in critical situations, whether it comes to, there's positives too. A turnover gained on the first play of the game is a very teachable moment, how the momentum can change from that, and how your third down conversions can really lead you to a really successful offensive, advantage there, and finally convert some third downs and playing catch and doing some really good stuff. And then there's some big things, that hamper games that we've been in so close with some of these really veteran ball clubs, and turning the ball over, or whether it be giving up third downs late in the game, or a lot of things that there's just opportunistic places there that we need to hopefully capitalize on. One highlight you're showing there, their ball was on the ground 5 times for them, and we only came up with one of them, if you don't count the kickoff. And the ball's got to finally pop our way. We got to continue to work, and we got a lot of teachable moments our guys are tuned into as we head into Reno week.
A strong defensive performance from your guys, but the Spartans scored twice in the fourth quarter. Austin saying they need to be more on their P's and Q's and focused on each down. But what's your message to your defense this week, especially getting ready for Reno?
We stood there after the game, and just like we have in these other games, we did some good things, but we also beat ourselves. We allowed too many big plays on third downs. We got to get to the quarterback. We got to get the ball out. The quarterback had, I think, 350 yards of all-purpose rushing and all-purpose playing, and they're upset about that, and we can improve on. Again, in all 3 phases. When you're playing a defending conference champs, and you're playing all of these teams we're playing that have a ton of success and experience and know how to get it done, those things become global. They become really big. And so our defense has done some good things, but they got ahead into this week now with maybe the best offensive unit we're the top groups we've seen this season, and we got to buckle up.
I want to talk a little bit about Cam Friel. You've been saying all season long about his resiliency, his fight. He was banged up all week with his left leg, fighting through injuries all season. But 20 of 28 for 240 yards, a touchdown. He's completing 69% of his passes this season. Are you proud of how quickly you're seeing his growth this year?
I am. Everyone keeps asking that, and I keep you guys the same question. It's not because it's the coaching deal. I think what is coming to life. He's a tough kid. He's got some resiliency to him. He works his tail off. He prepares as hard as any freshman I've had, any young man. And he's tough. He's been banged up. I think he's only finished a couple of the games, but in regards to what he did and how he's progressing and taking control of the offense without having, with the minimal reps he had in spring, let alone fall camp, and let alone not playing his senior year of high school. This guy's going to be really nice for us in the future, and he continues to flourish.
Is Cam still looking healthy? I know you said he was okay after the game, but how does he look getting ready for Reno?
Yeah, I think Cam will be just fine.
Awesome. Well, Cannon Week coach, UNLV is traveling up to Reno this Friday to bring the Fremont Cannon back to Vegas. The Rebels looking for their first win under Coach Arroyo when they take on a 5-2 UNR team who lost a nail-biter to Fresno State last night. We'll break down the Wolfpack coming up next.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
It is Cannon Week. The Rebels will be traveling to Reno this Friday for a 7 p.m. kickoff against the Wolfpack. UNR lost a nail-biter to Fresno State last night, falling 34-32. A high-scoring game that came down to the wire. UNR scoring a touchdown with 2 seconds left in the game, but the 2-point conversion was caught out in the back of the end zone, and Carson Strong, the defending Mountain West Player of the Year, finished 49 of 61 for 476 yards and 4 touchdowns last night. Rivalry week, the tensions are high, and the Rebels will be fighting to bring back the Fremont Cannon to Vegas. Coach, how do your guys get the job done in Reno and stop Carson Strong and his veteran guys?
Well, we got to play all 3 phases really, really well. We've got to build on the things that we've done this season that have been really positive for us. Tackling, starting fast, being resilient, fighting. Playing well in short yardage, and then we've got to, up the ante in regards to slowing down, an elite level passing game. And so that's a big test. It's awesome that it's a rivalry week. Awesome to get up there and get our guys into this type of representation mode in regards to what college football is about, this type of rivalry, and that's awesome. That pageantry is really what makes it special. And so we're excited about the work this week and getting up there.
I know last year was COVID and it may have been different, but do you guys do anything different during rivalry week? Anything different to amp up your guys?
Well, COVID was absolutely different. The modesty that we put it, we all COVID isn't. Yes, we absolutely different. We get to practice together, get to field, we get to meet in the meeting rooms. Yeah. The pageantry and things like that of the game, or because it's not here, we won't be able to take part in maybe a rivalry week deal or things like that. But you know, there's stuff all over our building. There's pictures all over. There's things here of the rivalry in our building, on our screens, in our locker room. Of the cannon. There's a lot of things we're doing right now to make sure these guys understand how important it is to it as our school, our program, our alumni to this type of challenge. So there's definitely some things that we've laid into and had a chance to, because we get to be in our building and do them, that we're excited about.
I'm talking to Shelby later on the show about the Rebel Roller and possibly bringing it up to Reno. Is there a chance we could see that in Reno?
You know, that's really, I have no control over whether the Rebel Roller rolls with us or not. If it does, great. If it doesn't, hopefully we'll be able to ring anything when we get back. So just excited about the week. And again, that's still an awesome thing that we've got in Allegiant Stadium for our guys to celebrate about. Yeah, everyone's been loving it. We're doing a little feature on it tonight, so can't wait to show the fans more about it. But Coach, good luck this week. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. All right, coming up next, we're taking a closer look at the Rebel Roller. Yes, the new UNLV football sideline slot machine. Have you guys ever seen something like this in college football? No way. Only in Vegas. We'll hear how this landed on UNLV sideline coming up. And we're sitting down with Downhill Phil, an incredible comeback story from this young man. The junior safety from Texas is racking up his stats this season and is hungry to do whatever it takes to help his team win this year.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Okay, so we've seen turnover chains, belts, hats, trash cans, you name it in college football. But have you ever seen a turnover slot machine? No, only in Vegas, right? The Rebels introduced the Rebel Roller against Utah State, and it quickly caught national attention. The Chuck Wagon was the first Rebel to ever pull on the handle on the Rebel Roller, and his 75-yard touchdown against the Aggies. And a UNLV football game will never be the same. We caught up with Coach Arroyo's staff to find out more about how the Rebel Roller landed at Allegiant Stadium. Shelby, how did this idea come about of the slot machine on the sideline?
So we started this back in May. We wanted to do a cool, like, Vegas-y prop. So ultimately we thought about quite a few things. It ended up being the slot machine. You know, 4 or 5 months later, we got it. So it was a cool process, but yeah.
What has been the reaction from the players? Have you heard from them that they love it?
Yeah, I think they were really excited. Coach Arroyo showed it to them last week, the day before the game. I think ultimately they're excited to have it. I think it brought a lot of momentum last week, and I think going forward it'll be a cool UNLV tradition.
Why is this so unique? Why is this perfect for UNLV football?
I mean, obviously it's a slot machine. You can't really do this anywhere else in the country. It's very Vegas-y, so I think you can't do this anywhere else, so this is it.
Most importantly, Shelby, do the recruits love it?
The recruits do love it. That was my intention. Like, everything I do is recruiting, so I'm glad they love it. I'm glad the players love it. I think it's going to be great.
Can we expect to see this for the rest of the season and possibly the rest of UNLV football history?
I mean, I think IGT donated this. It was $60,000, so I think it's ours. They bring it in every time, but I think it'll be at every game, and then hopefully we can bring it down to UNR too.
Awesome, Shelby. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, fingers crossed we see that up in Reno, right? The Rebel Roller has for sure changed the game, and it's been fun to see the players and fans love it. Well, it's also been fun to see this guy on the field this season. Junior safety Phillip Hill is one tough dude battling through injuries and continuing to have a big impact on the field. We've been waiting to sit down with this Texas native for a while now and hear his story about perseverance.
Blitz is coming. He's going to throw it deep, and right on. It is picked off.
It's a comeback year for Phillip Hill, better known as Downhill Phil.
Just 2 of 7 at the start for 25 yards. Since then, 23 of 29, almost 300 in the air, 4 touchdowns. Going deep again. In the hands ins and outs of Eric Brooks. It's intercepted.
The junior safety from Spring, Texas has racked up 30 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 interceptions this season, but it's been a long road to get here after tearing his ACL back in 2019. Finally, his time is here.
I'm feeling great, mostly because, it's my first season really getting to help and contribute to the team and, try to get this first win that we're looking for. So as far as me personally, I feel like there's a lot more I can do. So, every week is just back to work and back to getting better.
2 picks this season. I feel like you're just flashing, like you're just starting. What more do you want to accomplish this year and kind of your focus for the second half of the season?
My biggest focus is winning, winning games. And those personal, accolades, they'll come, with wins. Like obviously if I'm playing good or if I'm catching picks, making tackles, that only makes the team better. So that's my biggest focus, just doing whatever I can do to help us win.
A lot of young guys in the secondary. You're one of the older guys. How do you kind of help Noel and some of these guys? Because they're really, the freshmen like Cam Oliver, they've been popping,
Yeah, they're really good. I think they help me just as much as I help them. We all in this together. So, say if it's a coverage or if it's anything where I'm not up to par, they'll help me or they'll get on me and, I'll do it vice versa.
I know this team has been through a lot of adversity with COVID and this season. Do you feel like that, just from what I've seen on social media, on Instagram and on Twitter, I feel like y'all really love each other. Like y'all are really tight. Can you talk to me about the bond with these guys?
Oh yeah, this is probably, I think, as far as the past years and, from when I've been here, this is the closest we've ever been as a team. Like guys, genuinely, we all genuinely love each other. Like even if we're not in football, if we're out somewhere, we're all still together. So I think that makes a big difference in trust when you're on the field. All right, we hang out outside of here, in here, we grind together. I know you're gonna be in your gap and you trust me to be in my gap, so it just makes us play that much better.
There's a couple of Texas guys on defense. Talk about the culture of just football in Texas and Friday Night Lights and why it was such a big deal growing up.
Well, in Texas, football is everything. It runs the state, the city, the school, everything is just football. So I think all my boys from Texas, they kind of bring that same mentality to the game.
I want to talk about your family. So you come from an athletic family.
Yeah, I think.
You're like, hold up.
Well, we're an athletic family. I have 2 older sisters. Okay. One played volleyball at Virginia Tech, and the other one was, a cheerleader. She was good at, backflips and stuff. Shout
out to the sister. Yeah. That's cool though, that's cool. And so your parents really pushed you growing up to play sports.
Yeah, they kept me they just tried to keep me focused and help me to farm my work ethic, where it was my dad, taking me, driving me, to all these type of camps and trying to get me looked at, or just going to CrossFit with them, working out, getting up in the morning, when I was 13, 14, getting up, jogging, 4 miles, 5 miles every morning with him, so that really helped me to get to where I am now.
Kind of just want to wrap it up with, how has this opportunity at UNLV, how has playing college football, how has this changed your life?
I think football is everything to me, and I'm eternally thankful for this program, for giving me a chance just to show what I can do. And now it's just, I feel like I owe it to the program, I owe it to my family, I owe it to my teammates, my brothers, to just give it all I got, give it 100% every time, because they're the only reason I'm in the position I'm in right now.
Appreciate it, Phil. Thanks for coming on the RebZone.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Hey, keep balling downhill, Phil. All right, coming up next, we're hanging out with the Runnin' Rebels.
Intuition Challenge.
Crack me up. The Intuition Challenge, what is that, trending on TikTok or something? I don't know. I need to keep up with these young kids. But I mean, it's obvious that Coach Kruger has a fun group of guys this year. 9 transfers on the Runnin' Rebels team, and the talent is deep this year. Checking out the Runnin' Rebels preseason honors. Senior guard Bryce Hamilton was selected to this year's preseason All-Mountain West team. Hamilton, who initially declared for this year's NBA draft, said he decided to return to UNLV because of Coach Kruger and the relationship he has with him. Hamilton led the Runnin' Rebels in scoring, averaging 17.9 points per game last season. And shout out to the youngest guy on the team, UNLV's only freshman this season, Keyshawn Gilbert, being named preseason freshman of the year. The Vegas native spent his senior year in St. Louis helping Vashon High School win a state title. The guard averaged 13.2 points per game last season while shooting 55.5% from the field.
I think the most impressive part about Keyshawn is just every day he wants to compete. He wants to fight. He enjoys the competition and playing really hard. And I think the consistency of that's been great to see. You know, he's somebody that I think, being the youngest on the team, having just turned 18 not too long ago, I think he almost uses that as a positive insecurity of trying to prove himself every day with the older group. And I think that's fueled him to have a chance and to be a good college player, and having that motivation's been great. And I think he'll be able to do big things for us this year, and because he just loves to play. He loves to compete. He loves to fight. Sometimes you got to tell him to calm down a little bit. He gets really hard on himself, but having that drive is, I think, really important, and that's why Keyshawn has a chance to do a lot of great things.
All right, it's Cannon Week. Good luck, UNLV. We'll see you next Sunday.